the Oregon Islamic Chaplain Organization.
With the name of God, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, I greet you all with the greeting of peace. You know, when we look at what has happened in our country, I said our country, to our people, we watch Wall Street get bailed out, and most of us get left out. It kind of gives credence to what we've been hearing across the globe, doesn't it? It's very difficult to imagine that our country, its policies, its practices, and its corporate personalities would do some of the things that we've been accused of doing as a lot. But it is amazing that the fickle finger of fate has caused circumstances that have blown in the fecundating winds across the globe to blow right back in our face. And we have sat, many of us, we watched, we participated, and we may have had a tacit feeling of sympathy starting in the 60s when the African-American community marched through Alabama and all across the South saying, "We shall overcome." Now we stand in Pioneer Square admitting that we have been overcome.
We still have a dream!
And when we stop and think about it, yes, corporate America has its dark, devious sides, but there's salvation because there's also a bright side. When you look at companies like Wrangler, the jean company, that didn't abandon its people in Alabama when the natural forces tore up the town and removed the plant, but they showed the type of corporate responsibility and citizenship that we expect and have a right to from all corporations, to look out for those who have made you profitable. I say that those on Madison Avenue and who influence our thinking, our spending, and our decision making, and yes they do, they influence it, and those on Wall Street who may not care if we're camping in the park. But they do care if we're not parking in their parking lots, if we're not buying from their stores, if we're not impacting profitably their bottom line. You know, in my faith, the Prophet Muhammad said that the best of you are those who have the concern for his neighbor. There's a personal responsibility in all of this. We can gather in mass, we can point our fingers, and we can demand change. But God himself does not change the condition of a people until they first change the condition in their own hearts. So we have to look on a personal level, one by one, where we actually have the power. We may have our jobs taken from us. Some of us may have our homes taken from us. Some of us may be living in the park because we have no place else to go. But one thing that we do have at our disposal is our decision. And that is the one thing that separates the human being from the common animal, is the human being's ability to make a decision, to choose, to think, and then act on that thought. We can make our decisions in our pocketbook. We can make our decision with our vote. We still have the power of decision. And now that the jig is up, you see, you can only be fooled and mistreated and manipulated when you don't know what's going on. But the sun is shining bright now. We know what's going on. There is no place for self-deception. So now that we recognize the condition that we are in, we now need to look at our own selves, individually and collectively. Are you going to be corporate Wall Street against me? Are you going to look at me and in my race and in my class and in my position in society? Am I going to be your neighbor? Is this movement going to move beyond the square and onto my box? Is this movement going to move? Are we going to take up the personal responsibility to individually be responsible for the change that we want to see? That's what it's coming about. So I say to you, no condition will change until the internal condition will change. If we want to see external change, we have to make internal change. There are many of you who will go back into your offices today, and you will go back and talk about what you did at lunchtime. But remember, dear people, there are many who have no office to go to. There are many who have no home to go to. There are many who have no hope. We hear beautiful music here. Lovely music. I mean, it's some of the best music I've heard in a long time. Music here today. But I have to temper that just a little bit and realize that this is a swan song for many of our people. And it doesn't matter what race they are, what gender they may be, what color, what size, what shape. We are hurting in America. We are hurting. Our people are hurting. We have been bought and we have been sold. We are not controlling Wall Street. We are the products. We have been bought and sold. America, we, the people, have been made chattel. I know that's a hard thing to think about. But we are the product. We are a bottom line now. Politically and financially. The profit motive has outdistanced supply and demand. Greed has taken over. And we ourselves need to make a decision. I will decide whether I will buy my clothes, where I will buy my clothing. I will decide where I will buy my food. I will only support those who I believe are supporting what I believe in. We can take it back. We can take it back. I'm going to say that. And I am going to go because I have to go and take care of my obligations. I'm a believer in God and I pray on Friday. And I tell you what, I pray on Friday, but I think every day. I thank you as your brother, as one of you, as an American. And I love that song, America. God bless America, and God has blessed America. This is our country. This is our land. And the only way we lose this land, or the only way we can work to get it back from those who have bought it, China and others, the way that we can work to get it back is to think for ourselves, make the right decisions, and start with the one that is standing right next to, in back of, and in front of you. Because that's really where the lever meets the road. Peace be unto you. I'll see you at the victory.